what I'm talking about, then Indian farmers, without increasing their farmland, can produce up to 75% of all of the world's food needs in their own farms with just a bit of management and a little bit of investment. Hi, my name is Santosh, and we're talking about the food we eat. This video is supposed to be a part of a bigger series in which we talk about a lot of things, but the food we eat and the future of our food is supposed to be one chapter of it. The whole series will be like 12 or 15 episodes. I'm writing the second one currently, but yesterday I was thinking about this one particular topic, about the food and how will we feed the increasing population. I came across this particular point that I was going to add in the series and thought that this subject on its own has the capability of becoming an independent video. So, for fun, yesterday I did some calculations about what is the maximum capacity of Indian farmers in the given Indian farmland. Like, suppose India has about 10% share of the total farmland in the world, and we have 17% population, but we seem to be able to feed our population properly. How do we do this? We actually became smart after green revolution and increased our crop production and efficiency of our farms, but still farming is not a totally reliable profession, and there are a lot of things that can go wrong. So the farmers today, because of the mostly unirrigated soil or the farmlands of India, the crops are very unreliable. So farming is not a very respectable profession giving constant and reliable income. So I was thinking about this and I started doing some calculations about what if we use modern techniques which use less water, have control environments, and give more jobs to people and produce a lot more than usual open farms. I was thinking about them and this idea came across that what if we convert all the farm we have into the kind of farms that do these things like hydroponics and aquaponics and control environment, greenhouses and stuff like that, like growing food vertically and stuff. So I sat down and I did some calculations. And what this video becomes is what is the capacity, the maximum capacity of Indian farmers with a given farmland and given water. So basically, how many people we can feed if we had to with a given farmland. So we will basically calculate the basic requirements for any project to succeed. So basically what we are going to do is we are going to calculate how we can do this, and do we have the ability to provide it the infrastructure, how many jobs it will create, what kind of production increase are we talking about with the help of these techniques, and can we do it once or we have to do it like year by year increasing manner, or what it will cost to build it, what will be the cost of building it, what will be the cost of running it, and do we have the power that these farms need. These farms need significantly more power than the usual farms, still less than houses per square meter, but they do need a lot of power, and we are talking about something like 394 million acres of Indian farmland. So that's a lot of energy we need every day for almost every task we need to do. So we're going to talk about whether we can do this, how much it will cost, and what will be the benefits of it. There's one more thing I should clarify before we start, that When I say a modern, more effective way of farming, I don't mean one single thing like just hydroponics, just aquaponics, just greenhouse farming, or any one of that sort. I'm talking about all of them, which is a consideration that not one of these techniques is perfect for all the situations we have. So what will happen, what might happen is that people will adopt different techniques and different uh, ways of farming according to their budget and their respective situations. So when I say a modern technique, I'm considering uh, an average of these techniques in every calculation. So it may something better that is more clean food and gives more production and is a better technique, saves water, and we don't have to use chemical pesticides and stuff like that, or enhance them genetically and make them harmful for our kids to eat and make them harmful for our kids to eat. So what is the criteria for modern farming technique? Improved quality food, less water consumption, more production per acre, more jobs given if possible, timely production, like instead of 3 crops a year, give 8 crops a year or 10 if possible. India has 394 million acres of farmland, that is second largest among all the countries. We are just behind America, and America has 5 times more land, so they obviously can do better. We are doing best. We have somewhere like 140 million acres under irrigation, some form of irrigation, maybe bore wells, maybe dams providing canals. We also have world's largest irrigated land area for farming. No joke to feed 17% of the population with just 10% of the world's farmland. So let's start crunching the real numbers now. Start with the electricity and power grid for the whole project. Here's what we know, that India's total power production per year is about 1.55 trillion kilowatt hours, and world's total power production is about 25.78 trillion kilowatt hours. The power needs for our project for manufacturing and installing setup. So I'm assuming that it requires 5 kilowatt hours per square meter to produce a greenhouse of sorts that we need, including all the machinery and equipment. So we have about 394 million acres, and I said before, it is nearly impossible to convert all the land at one go. So we assume that a 5% per year work done is good, because these structures have a lifespan of about 20 years. So if you do 5% a year, then the system will be able to continue itself. That first year's infrastructure will be scrappable by the time we finish making the 20th year's 5% of infrastructure. So we have 394 million acres, out of which we do 5% per year, which is 19.7 million acres per year. We have about 4,400 square meters per acre. 5 kilowatt hours per square meter is our assumption to make the infrastructure. So this comes at about half a trillion, 0.4334 trillion kilowatt hours. This is about 27.96, about 28% increase in total power production, electricity production of India. This is about 28% production of current India's ability. So we have to increase our production by 28% just to support making of infrastructure for this project at 5% per year. This is doable. Now let's talk about for operations. So again, it is nearly impossible to calculate without experience how much electricity they need, these farms. But my house needs about 20 kilowatt hours per square meter per year. So we are assuming that since the kind of farms we are talking about won't have TVs running, and it will only have some fans and motors mostly. There will be no artificial lighting for most of the time, most of the area. uh, so about quarter of what my house uses per square meter seems logical to assume that these farms will use that much energy. So we are assuming 5 kilowatt hours per square meter for operations of the land per square meter per year. So in a year we will need about this much million. It's about 8.668 trillion kilowatt hours, which is 34.56% of world's electricity production. Now this is way too much energy. India cannot produce it with help of non-renewable sources. It will not be a good idea to do this. So the idea is these farms will mostly use their energy during the day hours. We will try to adjust them in a way that most of the work done is done when the sun is out, and minimum of the electricity will be used during the night, and for that there can be managed some way of storing energy or something. So since it is impossible for India to do about 35% of world's electricity production just for farms, by the way, let's calculate the possibility of powering all these farms with the solar energy, which is in abundance basically all over India. India is a pretty sunny country. So solar panel costs for all the electricity we need for these farms. Okay, let's say 394 million acres. We when we're talking about a solar panel cost, we talk about all the solar panel cost we are going to install in 20 years. So 394 million acres, and I calculated that how much energy a farm will need per uh, in like 5 kilowatt hours per square meter per year, and it comes to about 22,000 kilowatt hours per year. So I did this 20 kilowatt solar project and calculated the mean output it can give. So as I assumed it gives 4 kilowatt hours. Sometimes it may give 5 or above, sometimes it may give 3 or less in not so sunny country in winter. But 4 units per kilowatt is about the average of a solar panel in India. So 4 units per kilowatt, 20 kilowatt project, and 394 million acres is about 31.52 billion kilowatt hour production per day, which is about 11.505 trillion kilowatt hours per year, which is, by the way, about 30% more than the farms will need. Sometimes it is possible that the farms will not produce enough energy, so that last 25% is there for margin when they do not perform well, and the excess is for when we have more energy, we can give it back to country and save some non-renewable fuel for ourselves.